Hi, my name's Todd, and I'm working on a new project. Hopefully in 90 days, I'm going to have this trailer done on the ice and fishing. I'm going to photojournal this and make YouTube videos for it because I'm hoping for a couple things. One, I think some folks might find this interesting. I know I do. And also, I'm hoping to get some advice and some comments from people along the way because there's some things that I'm going to be doing on here that I really don't know too much about. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and get started. Let's start the build. We'll get a better look at it. I picked this up. I think I got a pretty good deal on it. The reason I got it is because of this lift system. It's designed to drop down very much like an ice castle, so you drop flat on the ice when I'm fishing. I know a lot of people are going to say it's just too small. And before you say that, let me explain the application. I've already got a skid house, a 10 foot by 20 foot skid house, story and a half, easily sleep 6 people, solar power, battery, whole 9 yards. I can't move it myself though. I need a resort to move it because it's just too big for me to move. So I'm looking for something that's going to be small and mobile. I just don't need something as big as an ice castle. And I like projects. I like doing stuff like this. So this is going to be a fun project, fun build for me. But one of the things that I'm going to put out right away, hopefully somebody will see this and jump in the comments here, is this doesn't have suspension on it. And that's going to be an issue. I drove this thing once on the road and it would tear itself apart if I tried driving at freeway speed. So I have to put suspension on this. And I'll put a link up here and some pictures of what I think I'm going to put on it, but I'd like to get some advice. I originally thought maybe I'd put leaf springs on it and I'd do a bunch of welding, but I found some axle-less. It's a kit that you can mount onto a trailer that has suspension built into it. So again, I'll post that link up here in just a second. And if you have any experience with these or any ideas or suggestions, like I said, jump in the comments. I'd love to hear them because this is the first part of this. You know, I have to have suspension on this, and that's just something that I'm just never worked on suspension before. So that's a great place to start. Here's the inside of the trailer. First things first, I'm going to be cutting the walls down. I don't know how high yet because it's going to depend on how high the bars and the wheels come up when it drops down to the ground. I don't know exactly how high that is yet because I've never actually lowered this. We're going to try that in just a couple minutes. I'm hoping that when I go to lower this and I pull these pins out here, that this trailer just doesn't fall like a rock and these things just go shooting up in the air like a slingshot, but I don't really know what to expect. The final product will have either a crank or a power winch on here that will be able to raise and lower it. Again, very much like you'd see on the traditional ice houses that have the wheel systems that lift up so the ice house can drop down to the ice. I'm not sure if I'm going to put a power winch on it or a hand crank. I'm still deciding on that. If I can get a hand crank out to the side where I'll safely be away from these, then I think it might be a hand crank. But if it needs to have the winch dead in the center, I don't want to be in this area when I'm raising and lowering this. So then if it has to be in the center and I don't find a good way to get the winch to the outside, then it might be a power winch. That'd be kind of cool too, just to be able to lift it up and down with remote control. So not sure yet. Again, comments, tell me what you think. Should I do the power winch or do you think crank winch will be enough? It's, you know, weight-wise, a hand crank just isn't going to be an issue. So it's not really a weight issue. It's kind of maybe just a cool factor and a convenience to have something that's going to be electronic. So yeah, I'll be cutting these walls down after we determine how high those come up. And then I'll be putting wings to the outside that will go out over the wheels for 2 reasons. One is I'm hoping that it'll get down low enough to where it'll be nice, like a sitting height. So you'll be able to sit outwards and then have 2 people, maybe 3 people fishing here in the center. I do think I'm going to push these wings out far enough so that I can put beds out there, so I could use this as a sleeper for 2, which would be nice up at the Shabin. If we ever have more than 6 people up there, this can be parked outside the Shabin at night, and I can sleep a few more people up there. And again, have the ability to be mobile and move around. All right, let's move this thing and try dropping it to the ground for the first time. It's centered really nice on the wheels right now, the center of gravity, so this thing moves around here pretty darn easily just by myself. And there are a few other considerations I'm going to have in the finished product, because the finished product at the very end is going to have to be able to get into it out of my garage. And I've only got, well, 6.5 This is definitely going to be the interesting part when we drop this thing to the ground for the first time. All right. Now the question is, am I going to lose a finger? That'd make for a pretty interesting YouTube video, wouldn't it? I think I'm going to grab some gloves here. When I take that pin out, this front's already on the ground, that back's going to want to go down. And I just wonder how much pressure is going to be on there, if it's going to just... You don't really to know until you try, right? Not much tension on that. Move that pretty easy. There isn't a lot of tension on it. Not too bad at all. Unfortunately, those go up much, much higher than I like. And that's not bad right there. This front is unfortunately really high. And that's not going to work well for putting a wing out, because the wing would have to be all the way up here, and you could never sit on that. Yeah, there's no reason though why I can't cut this down like this and come like this. That's just not going to be really conducive to having somebody actually sleeping there. Going to have to think that through just a little bit. But let's get some stuff to start marking this up, so we can start cutting it down. I thought of something else. I might not start cutting this thing up today. The suspension that I showed you, it's going to go on the bottom of this, of these lift bars. I think it might actually bring the wheels down slightly, which means the bar is going to actually have an even higher angle, which I'm not excited about. I have thought about one possibility already, is that I could create a wall in front of here. So the bunk, the person's feet, be a little narrow I think, but the person's feet could maybe sit in here, or somebody's head down there, sleeping this way. So you'd be able to get, a mummy bag in here. You're just gonna be a little tight at your feet. And then when you get to about this point here, it'll just be flat, running across, but then it'll bump out and just basically be a U that drops down over this. So from the inside, it'll look like a solid wall from floor to ceiling from this point forward. And probably from about this beam forward, just that little corner there. But then the whole back on both sides, in the back of the house would have the bump outs fully. So you could still sleep, and I wouldn't be worried about how far this is going up at all. So again, one of the reasons I'm shooting these videos and putting them up on YouTube is so I can get comments and suggestions from other people, because, well, I only want to do this once. Let's go back here and take a look at this. Up here, you've got a nice positive point for connection. So, that's stopping this beam from moving forward, backwards, up, down. It's very stable. But over here, this is just held in here. It's a little dark, but it's just held in here by, well, this tongue that slides through here. Because the beam on the front, or the pin on the front is there, I'm not worried about it moving left to right, but I am worried about overall strength on this and what people think, especially because the trailer is going to weigh more than it does right now. I'll do some math and some calculations, and I'll try to figure this out. But I don't think I'll go anywhere near the 3,500 pounds that the suspension that I think I'm going to put on here is rated for. But I'm definitely going to weigh more than the trailer does now. So maybe this is just reinforcing this, connecting this point from here to here, welding that up. The other option is that I could replace all of this and put an actual bearing or bushing on here. It has to be fairly precision so that the bearing doesn't get shredded. So you know, it might be beyond the skills that for anything I've ever attempted before. But anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Is this going to be good enough? Do I just need to reinforce it? Do I need to switch over to some sort of a bearing or a bushing at this point? Let me know in the comments. Well, I think that'll do it for today. I did really want to cut these down, but clearly this is too high. So my original idea, gonna have to modify it somehow. Like I said, if you have any suggestions, you have any comments, let me know. Let me know what you think about how I should work around this so that I can make it with two pop-out wings, but hopefully have enough room for two people to sleep in. Well, thanks for tuning in. Jump in on the comments. Subscribe if you want to see this project over the next couple months. Have a great day.
Daddy,
Yeah?
what are you talking to?
I'm talking to the people on YouTube. Say hi.
Hi.
This is my daughter Isabel. You'll probably see her a lot during the build. Say bye-bye.
Bye.
See you later.
See you later.
Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.
Good hit.
Say subscribe.
Who's gonna hit the button?
They will. If you tell them to hit the button, they'll hit the button.
Hit the button
And subscribe.
and subscribe.
Bye.
Bye.